Okay, so our next speaker is Kimberly Johnson from Oklahoma State University. She's going to be talking about the Oklahoma LTAP program information, and she has the most coveted spot of the day because she's the anchor person for this conference. After this, we'll have a networking break and some poster viewing, and then poster awards ceremony and closing remarks. So Kimberly, or Kim as she goes, serves as the Oklahoma Local Technical Assistance Program Manager and as the Southern Tribal Technical Assistance Program Center Director. And with that, I'll give Kim the floor.
Good afternoon. I just want to first off with saying thank you to ODOT, especially Teresa Stevens and Brian Cooper for allowing us to come up and speak today at the research conference. I am going to shake it up a little bit, change it up, and talk about a program that falls under ODOT Research Department, and it's called the Oklahoma LTAP Assistance Program. I guess I pushed the green button. There we go. So I'm going to start off just with a brief little history about LTAP. If you're unfamiliar with LTAP, LTAPs are grants that are funded by the DOT and Federal Highway. There are 51 centers across the nation, so one in each state and one in Puerto Rico. We just celebrated our 43rd year, so this is a strong organization and one that you should know about if you're from a different state. And if you're not from a different state and you don't know about it here, well, I'm going to tell you all about it so you can start using our resources. The LTAP Association first started off called the Rural Transportation Assistance Program in 1982. And so it started off as RTAP, and then it's turned into a 10-center pilot program. OSU was one of the first centers to join the pilot program. NLTAP formed, the NLTAP Association, National LTAP Association, formed in 1991, and NLTAP represents the LTAP and TTAP members centers across the country and Puerto Rico. The association's main objectives are to build awareness about LTAP in the transportation community, assist Federal Highway and DOTs with developing strategies for the programs, and build the capacity of each center to best meet the needs of its customers in its state. The major partners of NLTAP today, the ones that we deal with the most on a national level, are NACE, of course, our National Association of County Engineers, American Public Works Association, the AASHTO, and NTTD, a National Transportation Training Director. NLTAP, and partnerships increase awareness of LTAP in the transportation profession and add value to LTAP centers and the partner organizations by sharing expertise, efforts, and resources. So that's a lot. So let's just get straight up to what Oklahoma LTAP does. Oklahoma LTAP provides, basically, if we just get down to it, we provide free training all over the state to city, county commissioners, city planners, ODOT, any nonprofit transportation professionals within the state. So with that, I'm going to stop real quick. And Samantha Shepard is sitting in the audience today, and she does a really good job. Sam, would you stand up? Sam is our educator. Could you stand up, please? This is Samantha, and this is who you'll see if you work with us. She's our education coordinator across the state, and she stays in the car traveling throughout. Did I lose the? Okay. There we are. Traveling throughout the state and staying busy. So these are some of the partners that across the state that we, again, provide free training to, and that we'll talk more a little bit about how that works. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some of our training course statistics. This is what we've been able to do this year thanks to the funding from ODOT and Federal Highway. This is a brief comparison from FY22 to FY23. And as you can see, I made that a little bit big and bold for you to see that our training contact hours this year were 13,919 hours. We were able to put on 96 classes with this grant funding and serve almost 2,000 transportation professionals in this state. So it's just a remarkable statistics. We're so excited about being able to have the funding to be able to reach this many people in Oklahoma. Also, something to see here is interesting. Each state obviously reports different statistics and different different most desired courses. And this year for Oklahoma, the top 5 desired courses were our chip and scrub seal classes, aggregate road maintenance, obviously, it stays popular, MUTCD Part 6, which we're really keying in on work zone safety there on those classes, wildland fire training, and asphalt road shows, in which we partner with the Oklahoma Asphalt Pavement Association, but a lot of training on milling, paving, and compaction. So for Oklahoma, these were the top 5 most desired. We trained these most this year. We were also able to meet the needs, the new CDL requirements under federal motor carrier. We were able to, with the grant funding this year, to be able to provide training to 49 organizations. So city and county governments have been able to now become their own training providers. So that means that cities or county transportation departments were trained and given curriculum that was approved by federal motor carrier. And so they could become, now they don't have to send their guys out and pay $5,000 a guy to get their CDL training. They're able to provide that training in-house, so it's saving these organizations major money. Another program in 23 that has been a success, and one that we've also, we started with Dr. Zaman at OU, and we'd like to continue that and strengthen that partnership, is our transportation research program. We provide a couple of interns with the funding to work in the summer. This year we were allowed to, we sponsored 2, one from OU, where she was placed at NCOG and got to work towards her transportation planning career. And the other, Russell Mays, which actually was placed in Claremore on a bridge, or a road and bridge project, I believe, over there in Claremore, where he was able to stay at home and with his family and get to continue on that project. So it was a really successful time for both. I'd also like to mention that these partners, many times when we do these interns at the end of the summer, these organizations hire these students. So it's just such a blessing to be able to work with NCOG and ODOT in these manners. All right, some of our local LTAP partners that we're really strengthening up this year, we're real excited to talk about. So we actually partner, we spend a lot of time with the American Public Works Association here in the state of Oklahoma. We sponsor their conference every year. We completely put that on for them, and then we also provide all their administrative support, chapter secretary. So we have, just at the national level, as we spoke about earlier, where LTAP is a major partner, we've been able to partner really well with the APWA Association in this state, and we're very proud of that relationship. At the conference last year, we had 349 participants and 187 exhibitors, which I believe was I believe the most we've had in the past 5 years. Sam would probably know more than that than me. Okay, so we also partner with our Oklahoma Department of Transportation on pilot escort training. It used to be, of course, Department of Public Safety. That division has now moved over into ODOT. And as of right now, we're real proud that that certification, while it is a fee-based certification, 8 states reciprocate with us. So that means if you get pulled over in Texas and you have a pilot escort card here from the state of Oklahoma, they honor that pilot card. That doesn't happen too often. So we're real excited about these 8 states that are reciprocating with us, and we hope more will join in. I talked a little bit about our partnership with Oklahoma Asphalt Pavement Association, Larry Patrick and his team, Shantae, who's here today, I believe. I'm not sure I've seen Larry, but they've been instrumental in working with us. They provide what's called asphalt road shows, and the local technical assistant program asked us to come to the table and help facilitate those road shows by marketing, by providing student materials, by helping find locations, and just really working together to make these classes more and more resourceful for all of our attendees in the state. And so this has been a huge partnership this year, and I believe that we'll see next year probably, again, some of our most desired training. This is brand new this year, Oklahoma Conservation Commission Unpaved Roads Training Program. So Trampa's Trip from the Oklahoma Conservation, the director there called us up and said, "Hey, will you partner with us?" And we said, "Well, sure, we love that." And so he is getting, the Conservation Commission has $1 million a year of grant funding. And after the commissioner, it has to be a decision maker that attend these classes. After the commissioner comes to these classes, they're eligible to apply for $75,000 worth of funding on a project. And each year, the $1 million, they can apply each year as it becomes eligible. If they've taken the unpaid training class one time, in order for them to remain their eligibility, they have to come back to LTAP and take the classes that we have chosen that they need to remain eligible according to the Conservation Commission. So we're excited about that one. Not only we've been there with them since day one, since this program started, it's kicked off, and we'll show a success story here on a project with this partnership very soon. So a couple of more success stories we're going to talk about. We were invited by the National Rural Road Safety Center this year to come and support their conference here in Oklahoma City. It was demanding, but we were excited to be able to do that. We came up, we marketed, we helped them do their road safety audit field trips. We helped them find locations down in the city and worked with the city of Oklahoma City down there and to help us find those locations and pull up crash data. So it was really great support to work with the Rural Road Safety Center. We learned a lot, and I think it's just helping us, our programs get more and more noticed on a national level as we work with these people. We're proud to tell you we're making the news. Now there's 51 centers, if I can remind you, in the state. There's 51 LTAP centers. Not everybody gets to make the news, but Oklahoma State, Oklahoma LTAP is making the news. And so that's why I hope you want to hear these grant dollars are being spent well, and that's exciting. We have had, in this story here, this made the news for the National LTAP Association, and it discussed our popular Road Scholar Certification Program, in which I'll explain more a little bit about that program moving forward, but it's exciting to be able to be recognized as one of a top leading LTAP. We also made the news. We were excited to be asked to be the South Central Regional Representation on the NLTAPA board last year. And so that means we are the liaison and the leaders of five LTAPs in the South Central region. We came together in Oak City this year. We had Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and New Mexico directors of LTAP come in, and we led them with speakers from Oklahoma. Brian Cooper was present. We had Federal Highway, Rosemary Anderson. We had a lot of different people, transportation experts come in and teach our LTAPs more and more about how they can enhance their programs. Let me go back one. Okay, so this is a little bit more. This is another picture of what we're proud about, because this goes back to our Road Scholar certification. I believe this certification started many years ago. I bet Brian Cooper could tell us more, but with the past manager, Mikey Hingston, I don't know how many people in this state. I know over 600 people are certified at this time, or probably more if you go back further. And today, this was the conference that we delivered last year, and today you can see that they're still coming up. Now, this is a true commitment for these transportation professionals. They have to take a series of 8 classes to receive the certification, and it gives them a basic engineering background to help them promote their job skills and learn more about how to do better work each day. And so, if you consider that each one of these people have committed to taking almost, I believe it's 120-something hours of work, not only in the classroom, but there's laboratory work as well. We're truly excited to see that this amount of participation still coming through after probably 15 years of this program being run. So we're excited, and this continues to go on. Another thing that I'd like to praise ODOT for here is that the Southern TTAP, the national TTAPs, which are National Tribal Technical Assistance Program, which is a sister program to our LTAPs, closed a couple years ago. And so our tribes were not able to get a lot of training. In many states, the LTAPs could not afford to train the tribes, but not in our state. So ODOT continued to support our tribes when the funding went away from the Tribal Transportation Assistance Program. And this is just a true story here. Our Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes received their LTAP Road Scholar certificates under the LTAP umbrella instead of the TTAP umbrella. Truly grateful truly grateful that ODOT chose to kept supporting the tribes in our state for this. This also made national LTAP news here as a model program that the LTAP that's really helping to serve all people in the state, not just the locals, but the tribes as well. Again, like I said, because many LTAPs could not afford to fund tribes after the tribal assistance programs went away. So we're just really grateful to be able to strengthen our relationships. Our relationships are great with the tribes, and we're continuing to strengthen those. Our heavy equipment training finally took off this year. I thought it never would. We had COVID. We couldn't get heavy equipment dealerships to work with us as much because they didn't have anything in the yard. I mean, they were waiting on their equipment to come in. So we finally were able to get an instructor out. This is an example in McIntosh County here. It's a success story. They're very happy. We took the trainers out on 2 days of training, and they were able to take the roads, as you can see on the left side, from 14 foot onto the right side where they're able to clean up those ditches to 24 foot across. It's amazing. The commissioner's happy. The guys have learned how not to be scared to get those graders in those ditches and clean them out. And so we're excited about this training, and I believe you'll also see this as a #1 desired course next year. So here's one of those Oklahoma Conservation Commission unpaved roads projects that we talked about. So again, after you come to that unpaved training program with the commission and LTAP, you're eligible to apply for $75,000 of funding on a project. And so here's an example of the pilot project that happened in Lincoln County. You can see the problem here where Wild Horse Creek runs perpendicular to the roadway and then turns 90 degrees and runs parallel with the roadway. The county kept repeatedly dumping additional material to maintain a passable roadway. So the commission came in, Conservation Commission came in, LTAP Technical Assistance came in. They made a proposal to riprap slope with toe ditches and fabric along roadway to stabilize and prevent sediment from entering this stream. The commission came in and actually helped this county obtain the proper Corps permit that was required for the project. And here's your success story. No longer is the county wasting money, time and time again, over continuing to dump those materials out. It looks pretty good. Of course, with everything, it takes maintenance, but this looks like a way better solution than they started with. So this is just an example of the good work going on with the LTAP and the Conservation Commission at this time, and we're excited to continue that. In fact, Samantha Shepard here in our audience just set the 4 dates for next year. So if you want to get in on that funding or know somebody that wants to, you better jump in those classes. All right, so last couple things I wanted to mention, because I know we've got things to do and we're on break, is that a couple things that are coming new in FY24 that's been proposed and approved in the work plan is that we've decided, again, to continue to strategic scheduling. And what that means is when I started here two years ago, LTAP was run by a matrix. And what that means is we said we would give so many of these classes, so many of these classes. And we turned that around and said, well, why don't you tell us what you need? And so we gave you a list of classes, and we've made this an on-demand program. And now that's harder work on us, but that I think is better serves our commissioners and our transportation professionals in this field. We can actually say, let us help you. You tell us what you want. And so it's been, I think it's been more demanding. Absolutely, we've been able to provide more, but I think it's also served more needs in the state. We're really excited about hybrid training. Also, everybody knows in here with grant funding, it only goes so far. And we also know that commissioners, all nonprofit transportation departments struggle with funding to even fix their roads or their projects, much less find some funding to put people in the car, stay a night at a hotel, and get training. So that still is a problem, even with this free training program. So what we have here now, we're bringing to the table is what we call a hybrid online training course, where both live instruction and independent online work will be completed by the student. The independent work includes quizzes, readings, videos. It basically goes like this. The teacher comes on and teaches you a lesson in Module 1 live, so you can talk to